Right, this is basically what she found in century 1540 by Pope Paul III, became their first general. Don Francis Borgia was the great-grandson of Pope Alexander I and co-founder of the Jesuits. On his mother's side, he was descendant from the King Ferdinand of Aragon, which is spelled Ferginand, and the bloodline of Aragon. The Spanish controlled the Vatican through the Jesuits. This is who it's been controlling for centuries. Over the past 500 years, the Spanish Inquisition has controlled the Vatican by means of the Jesuits. All the Jesuits answer to the general in Rome, and he in turn is content to run the show behind the scenes, without any publicity or public acclaim, so as not to arouse the age of Italian hostility to the Spanish. So, when you learn Latin and definitions of meaning of words and reference to the crown, reference to the monetary system, connecting to what banks, river banks, commerce and business, it all links back originally to nobility. In history is no different. The word derives from Latin vates, which means tellers of the future. The name was the name given to the hillside on the west bank of the Teller River in Rome because of daily lineups of fortune tellers used to hawk their wares there to passersby on the street. In the 14th century, when the papacy PAPACY was returned to Rome from a place in France spelt ABIGNON, to the present day, Vatican became the residence of the popes, and the word came to refer to enclave, ENCLAVE, in the middle of Rome that had become the seat of the Roman Catholic Church. Source is Incredible Book of the Vatican Vats, and that goes back to 1998. But I also found the original website. And I'm not sure if I can still get a link. This is where I found it on. I did find another link to Wikipedia, which will go into the bloodlines, origins, and the dynasty of ancient Rome. Carried on the political feud with those two royal families back in the centuries of Rome. It was only stopped in the century 1511, 1517, when both heads of the families intermarried their nieces, and its connection with the Pope Sixtus V, an act of I can't even pronounce this. Ironically, one of the families also claims descent from ancient Rome. Let's have a look at that family. The first of Rome Let's have a look. The line of emperors ruled the Roman Empire from the formation under Augustus 27 BC until the last of the line committed suicide, oh dear, 6-8 AD. The name Julagri, historical term, derived from families composing imperial dynasty of Julius Caesars. So this has got the noble lines. Yeah, so there is the logo, claimed to be the ruler of Rome Empire during the imperial period. And empires used a variety of different titles throughout the history. Often when a given reign is described as becoming an empire, in English it reflects the taking of the title of another title. So this is biblical times, I'm sure, very much so. You've got a family tree. It's all genealogy. Wow, look at this. Don't there's any dates related. Yeah, there is. So you got Julius Caesar, with the family tree. Genealogy has always been where the mobility comes from. So one of them in the middle I'm looking at is Julius Caesar, Augustus, Empire 27 BC and 14 AD. I used to study the periods of those times, the scripture times, AD, BC, a long time ago when I was a teenager. And the time within a different version of the Bible when I was growing up. So I knew the genealogy was very important the way I was raised anyway. So I'll go back, see if I can find that website I was actually on. Because the Freemasons did not exist just like that. So I'll come out of that page. Okay. So this is, I can get this page back up. It's not quite of the website I was actually looking for. So this was really of like reference to the Illuminati. Some of these posts are recent, some of these are like 2020. About the Brave New World. Some of this is in German, not English. Yeah, the card game. I think people already know about the card game of the Illuminati. So yeah, this is which I was originally looking at. So this particular family, ORSINI, long nailed the most celebrated principally families in medieval Italy and the Renaissance Rome. Members of that family included popes, as I said. Also, this period is popes. I have to spell it Celestine, the third, and that's a century 1191 to 1198. And Nicholas, the Pope Nicholas the Third, the century is the 12th century, so that's 1277 to 1280, and Pope Benedict X the Third, I think it is, 1724 to 1730, and numerous condottiri, pronounce that right, and other relevant political and religious structures and figures. The origins, according to the family, the ORSINI are descendants from the Julio-Claudian family of ancient Rome. This is a Fanciful, Fanciful, as well as the alleged connection to the German families, I knew about that, called ANHALT. Now Baden and Rosenberg, sporting the same name, the Orsini also carried on a political feud with the Coronai family until by popular bull it was stopped in 1511. 1571, the chiefs of both families married the nieces of Pope Sixtus and stopped Sixtus V, and the Orsini were related to the Bernai family existing in Rome in the 11th century. The first members of, in fact, also doubled surname, Bob Bernai to Orsini. What are names? The first known members is the Bob Bone in the early 11th century, father of Baccario, in turn the father of Giacinto Dial Bob Benai, 11th 10th century to 11th 98th century, who in 1191 became Pope as Celestine III, spelt Celestine, one of the first great Nepotis popes, that's spelt Nepotist. He created the canals. Really? All that time ago? Cardinals, I think it's pronounced Cardinals, two of his nephews, and allowed his cousin Giovanni, who died in 12th century 32, to buy the, I've just spelled it FIEFS, oh, this is, I think, is a lot of Italian words. B, VICOBORO Lycinea, Racanoveina. I'm not pronouncing these names right, I'm sure. Was formed in the nucleus of the future territory power of the family, and the Bobonese family went lost with his children, who were called Di Damio, and I can't pronounce that Italian name. Two of them, Napoleone Matteo and Wasio the Great, they're called. Century is 1178 to 1246, increased considerably the prestige of the family. The former was the founder of the first southern line, which disappeared with the Cambileio Pardio in the 15th century, 1553, to obtain the city of Opilio. Later, a countship was Papilio, and it quotes a family line. It goes into the effect of the Lord of Rome from 1241, when he defeated imperial troops in 1243, holding the title of Senator of Rome. Two of his sons, and Napoleone, was also senators. Matteo ousted the traditional rivals of the Carano from Rome and extended the family's territory southwards up to and certain areas of Italy and Rome, I believe that is, and northwards. During his life, the family entered firmly into the Guelph party. He had some 10 sons. Wow. He divided the family after his death, and the gentle died in 1246. So it goes in a very in-depth history, this does, of the origins of ancient Rome and the houses of the royal families in Rome, and how the Vatican, the history of the families were founded, and how the Pope became, as they're known, through the bloodlines, and the Jesuits were founded through them. So it goes back to ancient Rome, and the Jesuits infiltrated the Freemasonry. So it goes back a long history, very long history. So this is why a lot of people initiate study Latin, business, commerce, and because if they come from a bloodline and anything to do with ancient Rome at the time of the biblical periods, where Jesus Christ was implied to be on this earth in AB and AB, yeah, is it AD and A or BC? Yeah, AD and BC periods of ancient times, biblical times, and the times of this Rome periods. So it's been loads of films, old films, years ago, making about the history of the Roman royal family. So they were much Roman Catholic, so it's alleged how they, this really just go into how they came into the nobility through the bloodlines, and it brings it up to 16th century. It goes in further, further on in history to Benedict, nephew of Prince. So it goes into how they became nobility and how they made him a prince of the Holy Roman Empire. So you're going back again with that family creating a throne. It goes back to 16th century, bringing it up to the 17th century. And the family moved to Rome 18th century, where Duke of Dominati 1790 to 1874 married a female. 1823. In 1850 he was a minister of war and great lieutenant of the armies, the centre of Rome. So it just shows the build-up of mobility in the buildings and the families and the bloodlines. Sources of information where it's found. Well, I just thought I'll add that part. I'll try and stretch my legs. It gets cold quite quickly now. Getting dark and getting cold very quickly. The volume's low. That's spelled freemason as well. Still chaos in UK, I'm not surprised. There's all sorts going on in this world, right? So, well, things are changing all the time. Yeah, I do think so. Wow, found it. Yeah, this is a site I used to find ages ago. And my friend, history of humanity and ancient civilizations. Well, wow. Has something interfered with genetic structure? DNA. Look at that part. 2014 dated. In 1970, science began to refine the interpretation of Darwin's theory of evolution. The re-environment became known as biology. Science is the fundamental during both evolution in the molecular unit and not expertly just observing. Section ZEC section stitching uses time reasoning centered the dark side of the theory. Why would an alien life form modify genetic substance without properly counting the social aspect of inherent flaws, which are usually in substance? If an alien species, deity, or whatever spoke on manipulating genetic material, it would surely be aware of distinctive power within the primitive form it was transforming, if we consider there was a manipulation of genetic structure then. Was it accomplished by a somewhat primitive and different entity? which some might consider the technology required. An entity or force that was murky and unfriendly, the resulting human condition. This may seem like too much to comprehend at first. However, if you consider the myths and legends round about in human history, they all seem to include some sort of genetic interference. Implying humans were modified from a foreign substance. I'm interrupted this by someone broadcasting their experience in ghost stalking in India. Excuse me. Yeah, they do hack your bones and internet. That's a good picture of him. Of this back. It didn't normally go live. Nobody's chat. I don't know what it's trying to do, but I couldn't have that. Okay. as I thought. This may seem like too much to comprehend if you consider the myths and legends around the human history and stories about genetic interference. Okay, so born matter of the physical world and humans are modelled or falling substance with an effort to tap particles of light, pre-existing souls. Kitchen argued that an alien race, the Anunnaki, designed humanity as space species, but early humans rebelled and developed consciousness. Numerous myths, stories, and legends suggest that someone or something interfered with the ape to create man, and everyone tends to view the creation as negative. While most religions insist that the matter is good, God is the creator, other more eccentric approaches from the Gnostic, I think that is, suggest that the matter is at best dangerous or at worst, well, significant, is it? At worst. And our creation was a result of the miscalculation or mistake or deliberate deceptive act. Dis- is it? This view persists that the apes were designed as a mechanism to trap souls that exist in the first state, the spirit world. It's just an article I'm reading, not my belief. I'm just reading the article. Many sects believe the fallen creator, in his attempt to West control the universe, first first create matter to encapsulate control the light, and then he involved the physical form of humanity to capture the pre-existent forms of light, turn into atomations, is it, under his control. While we can debate the idea, it is true that there is a difference between our genetic programming and our minds, which is a doorway to the true spiritual self. Even if we have trouble accepting the more outlandish aspects of this theory, division within humanity violates traits of genetic programming cannot be ignored. The role of the mind. The role of the mind is a human development. It has been apparented. I think that word is. To say the least, from one perspective, it is our saving grace. From another, it keeps us enslaved. That's with the mind control. Oh my God, that's coming to that. According to Stitching, the mind was genetically modified by modifications to the brain so that a race of slaves could be created. Apes were difficult to control, so a complex brain mind through originally limited, very created. Now through the DICHOTOMI. Between the brain, mind, and the instincts, mind control was achieved. Continuing this arc, early religions and social structures would have functioned as control mechanisms to keep slaves in their role. However, over time the control mechanism became the tool of liberalization. But even the most limited mind-brain complex began to develop thoughts outside the spectrum of control. And one thought led to another and finally to rebellion. Whether we accept the paragraph or not, we see the intellect as a contradictory role. Its sisters are a front to what science understand to be a normal evolutionary process and can work to enslave, will it liberate? In this can't speak now, cosmology, we deduce that was a various alien species. Some wish to have humans, which may wish to keep us enslaved. Consequently, some early cultures worked to liberate humanity intellect, with some cultures, if not the same over time, return their culture to slavery by some means. So that's true. So, as we look at alien species theory. Right? 4th century BC. Yeah, with this website, you can click on so many links and be here forever. Okay. This debating races, let's have a look. Human reptile. Small cluster solar systems orbit around the star Aldebaran. Many star systems orbit, and it quotes, central suns. Silent being type. No, can't clearly say. You've got human reptile, star systems around BWOTS, reptilian Babylonian, triple sun system, not named, reptilian neutral now, 3-star solar systems held by gravity, at central star CAPARRA. Apparently these reptilian alpha GARACONS, smaller star system. The quote for that is I'm not coming out of the screen. Reptilian plant. I've heard of this one. Sita. I've heard of those. The monarchy has more. I've heard of those. On the brink of the monarchy and anarchy of the New World Order. The secret of the dark stars. 2006 article. There you go. In the long run, it will all be slavery with humans who survive onslaught being subjected to masters like never before. There are too many reasons why monarchy have remained hidden from human eyes on the planet at this time, why they've not used that technology. They're not particularly attractive in physical terms, apparently. When they arrived on Earth, they were welcomed in a more human form and admired for their appearances. This led to many aliens mating with human women. I've heard about that in the Book of Enoch. Either forcibly or voluntary. Many of the Anunnaki have strong sexual drives. Really? And the fact that humans are able to make growth in and out of the fetal position, really, was a gift to the aliens on Earth. Really? Today, many of the Anunnaki preferences for men and women are evident in the marketplace. Really? Beauty salons abound, and fashion trends are often presented to satisfy Anunnaki sexual urges. That's bloody sick. Anunnaki are particularly attracted to really large women's, breasts. So they urge and programmed women to seek breast implants. Really? The recent trend towards the full lips and large behind are examples of Anunnaki programming. Really? And one thing needs to investigate that on spiritual level. Now, the market appearances of men and another Anunnaki influence. The Anunnaki also groom tutor children in order to exploit them to satisfy what? They set their appetites? No, can't be. The free love movement in the 1960s was sponsored by the Anunnaki, as was the Hollywood movement. What I knew about that one. Entertainment, full-blown what? Pornography and desensitization to injustices and horror. I've heard about that all right, unfortunately. Wow. They also have bitter enemies, apparently. The reptilians retreated into human forms so they could blend in with the locals and able to operate in relative anonymity. Many other races did the same, apparently. Apparently, over time, populations of humans are infected with alien consciousness in human form. Yeah. Yeah. Radiation. Right. So, implied, the monarchy was remained in conflict with each other. For the time being, the reptilians are supposedly backing off to trick these other type of non-human entities into doing the dirty job of setting up the New World Order before taking it over for them when they feel the time's right. The Black Rider, the Black Horse, versus 6 of 5 represents The new revolution, John, divine Venus, the God, the Almighty God. Some who are angels of darkness. They use the earth and its inhabitants as a battlefield. So they're creating the false narrative and aliens to spawn a ridicule. When people discuss UFO experiences, theories, world domination, this is by aliens design. Many know that something's very wrong between, and there is a conspiracy and state of operation. But if you suspect or dare discuss the conspiracy, it's an unlucky one. Aliens are behind the wars on the planet. When United States President John F. Kennedy commissioned a report asking what would happen if there would be worldwide peace, the warning elite had to remove him quickly and replace him with a warmongering president. And it quotes this. The light will occasionally involve themselves with earthly wars. When it does, it is for the purpose of delaying or blocking darkness plans and temporarily to alleviate the suffering on earth. Wars created by darkness its own classification, evil purposes. Wars caused undue suffering, which benefits this darkness. In the late 19th century, a document was released known as the Portals of Learned Elders of Zion. The protocol is not a new document. His original version came out of a meeting in Rome, 1492. The original document, certainly involving their predecessors, elders of Zion, most of whom were not of Hebrew blood, but were they actually followers of Jewish faith? In fact, most of them at 1492 elders were infiltrated with the Catholic Church. Knew there's some kind of connection. Because that snake around the earth. First of all, who are the elders? I thought they've begun the snake design. (429 BC in Greece), Rome, 1552, Paris, 1790, London, 1840, the downfall of Napoleon, sits in Berlin, 1871, Persian War, the snake is now being drawn through the Americas, called the Council of All Nations to natural conclusion. The further the course of snake is not shown in the map, but arrows indicate next movement towards Moscow, Kiev, and another countries. Now, unknown to what extent the latter. Wow. Evening, Carlos. How are you? Looking up history. Carlos, a pure blood. Let's have a picture of it. Oh my goodness me, really? More asylum seekers coming to bloody England. Shite. Oh my gosh. Yep. Music industry is part of this, by the way. Let's have a look at these videos. If you don't mind me sharing. I'm hearing things about the hotels being, I don't know if it's tuning and being full up with these people. History debunked, yeah. I'm subscribed to the same channel as you. Ex-wife looked. First of all, I'll have to meet this, I'll play it. Oh, this is true. Well done for highlighting this.
Of course, nobody bothered to inform the local residents that the local mill there had been seized by the Home Office and that more than 80 single young men were going to be moved in there.
Really?
What would these men do all day? How would they occupy themselves? What facilities were there in the mill for them? The Home Office hadn't bothered to consider any of this because it was enough to get these men away from South East England, where most refugees and asylum seekers tended to congregate. Above all, they wanted to reduce the appalling amount of money being spent on hotels, because it keeps being mentioned in the newspapers. Would there be jobs in Millsbridge for 86 young foreign men? Houses and flats for them to live in? Of course not, but none of that matters. The men have already begun moving into the old mill, and in the description to this video I give a link to a news item about this. It is of course only one example, there are many others. The government is determined not to have any more tabloid stories about the cost of hotels, and so is foisting these people off on villages and towns across the whole country.
Yeah.
Since most of the asylum seekers are single young men, this is already causing problems in some areas. Hand in hand with this is what is known as the National Transfer Scheme, which most viewers will not have heard of. In addition to the usual scams, such as burning passports and pretending to come from different countries, there is the unaccompanied child trick, in which a man of 20 or even older will claim to be 14 or 15. These are always men, by the way. If they are accepted as being children unaccompanied by their parents, then the chances of being refused asylum in this country are zero. Very few genuinely unaccompanied children arrive on small boats.
Exactly.
Because most of these children are being cared for in Kent and Croydon, where the Home Office has special facilities, the government has now decided that every local authority in the country should be obliged to take such unaccompanied children and look after them. I'll give a link to details about this scheme in the description to this video. Many councils are reluctant to take such people, which is why the government had to put the bite on them and use legal pressure. Having a 21-year-old man placed in a class of 15-year-old boys and girls can create, well, shall we say, difficulties. I've seen this myself at a further education college I worked at. That's Epping Forest College, which is just down the road from me. There was a young man on one course who was an Afghan asylum seeker whose nominal age was 18. The other students, they were well aware that he actually had a wife and children in Afghanistan, and he slipped up a few times when asked for his date of birth. I think he was really 24.
Really?
It was a terrible situation. It also allowed 14 to 16-year-olds in who couldn't cope with full-time school for any reason. They let them come and attend English and maths at the college. I saw the Afghan guy sitting in the canteen and making efforts to befriend a 14-year-old girl. It was a bit much, and I took action. This is the sort of situation which this particular scam leads to sometimes.
Crashing markets, surging prices. Hello, it's Nigel Farage here, and I'm getting a sense deja vu. Has Britain hurtles back to the nightmare 1970s and inflation a cost of living catastrophe. Let me tell you the stark truth. Your money isn't working. To understand why this is, why it's more than just rising prices, and discover 3 urgent money moves you can make starting today.
Oh look, I recognise Mears Group PLC is responsible for the care of the individuals. This is a scam. I know about this company. I knew they were involved with contract with Mighty PLC and the bigger company in England. Their contracts with my housing company and security.
To Redacted on this Monday. I'm Morris.
I'm Natalie Morris.
And this is the show where we seek the truth. That's our higher.
Yeah, Mears Group PLC, based in Gloucestershire. Implies responsible for the care of the individuals in that. Oh, you don't want to trust. You don't want to trust that bloody company and its agents. Or the head office CEO. They're just after public funds. I had a gut feeling about this, what they're doing to me as well. Yeah. Good job you popped in. It all makes sense now, doesn't it? They don't need vital support. Ship them back where they came from. People in England can't cope with what's going on in the first place. They don't help people. Bloody hell. The public is going to be outraged about all this. All these companies are designed to profit out the public purse. Wait, provide the homeless. Look how close they are to people's homes. What kind of trouble is that going to cause in that village? What, these people's got kids? Bloody hell. They're not genuine asylum seekers. They haven't gone through the correct pathway. Yeah, I want one of those. I can't get one delivered. I have to wait, but it hit over the winter. Into the valley, into all areas now. You can't make it up. My Lord. Home Office. They want to get rid of. The border forces, people exposing all this down in Kent and all the coastal areas have been doing, exposing what's going on for a long time. Yeah, good on them. They always like to call people with different opinions far right, don't they? Can't make that up. We cannot make that up. Hello, Empowered. How are you? You can't make it up, can you? Carlos, I was just checking his channel out. I lost my channel now. And, well, I'll tell you, there's going to be really civil unrest more than ever, isn't there? Apart from getting my brain wrecked during the night and just waiting for my stew to cook in a slow cooker and have some rice with it. At the moment, just trying to chill out. I'm researching subjects of freemasonries and paper, and it's spelled it correctly. But I was looking at the DNA and the brain. This is the original website I used to dig out a long time ago, so let me screen share on this. How are you doing? I'm very tired at the moment. I'm not typing much because I ain't got much energy. Getting set up by the housing company. I knew Mears Group PLC is part of it. Right, MPS Housing Limited company. And Mears Group PLC company, it directors own MPS Housing Limited. And I've offered 4 dates for my gas boiler since 12th of September 2022. And then I'm getting set up again. So you got the same housing agent at 7:30 in the morning emailing me. Must have probably preempted and gaslighted me since a long time ago and in 2017. So every 2 years, 2018 and to date this year is always the same, repetitive. Blocking my repairs, lying on breaching contract, saying I'm not anybody in to do the gas boiler. But no, it's not the gas boiler either. It's the kitchen taps, it's the flat door repair. It's just constant. So yeah, her email is lying. Okay, falsifying the facts. So I preempted the gut feeling on this again. So my letter to Royal, though there's in England, be prepared for a lot more delivery Royal Mail PLC company strikes. A lot of strikes. So the next end of, what are we now? I think it's beginning of next week. So that's another within that 2-week period. And then you got a couple of more in November. There's all different divisions in Royal Mail. These members are striking because the cost of living. The war's gone to pot. So that's on top. So yeah, I posted my letter as well, email dated Friday just gone, because that stupid woman, good Lisa, didn't get back to me in time by Friday's date to confirm whether tomorrow's appointment I'd offered, Wednesday's appointment, the Friday this week, and the next Monday, and another date leading up, I think it was a Tuesday, to do the gas boiler within the 2-month deadline, which is 11th November 2022. I've had exactly the same problems last year when they lied and said I'm not allowing anybody in, when the AI produced letters are offering mornings, which I cannot do, and I've got evidence of emails to confirm that they know that. So yeah, so when I just read that article just now, I just saw Mears Group and bingo, I knew they had a massive contract, and the other arm of the business they run is Mighty. And you look in the accounts on Company's House, and you can see where the public funding is coming into their company. It's coming in the contracts to run security services for Ministry of Justice Limited Company, prisons and all that stuff, and similar. And then, of course, asylum seekers, sort of like more like illegal immigrants. Yeah, so, and now they're getting into the care division. Oh my gosh, can't make it up. So what am I looking at? Yeah, I'm getting that all the time. Empowered. Let me cancel that. I am getting that all the bloody time. It's just non-stop. You have regularly have mail tampered with or deliberately delayed. Yep. My previous housemate saw my mail delivered, opened, well, that's a normal utopian mail. When we had deliveries from the same company, his mail was untouched. There you go. So here's that. Yeah. I've had that. I mean, it's like the home invasions. I have to keep a diary as well, quite a few diaries actually. So to note the date of the home invasions, because I guarantee you 2-3 days later, there'd be like something else to do with the MK Ultra trauma triggers, you know. So just exhausted. Exhausted. So there's nothing I was gonna bloody do but make sure I can get some proper meal. And so my mate's just done me a stew. Just put some spices and that in it. And hope it's alright, and do me some nice quick meal, you know. And just try and watch a film, like, and just ignore everything. Try to, you know, get radiated with the perks around here. So I was just researching on the subject. I had all these, as soon as I mentioned reptilians and Freemasonry, and looking at this website I used to share ages ago before my other channels got took down, and I was like, oh my god, I was like looking at another social media page of a different platform because they're hacking my phone internet all bloody days. I gave up and focus on trying to get some cooking. Get that sorted. And yeah, so I had all this up and down outside my flat at the street, you know, the noise campaign and the cars, and planting themselves right outside my window, just usual charge, pathetic behaviour. And then, of course, you got everyone, well, practically how many in this block are all part of this organised stalking. So, yeah, I know this housing company is part of it, 100%, ever since I moved in. So, everything really, ever since I moved in, what I've been going through. And then more intensively, March 2017, so to date. It's a long time, isn't it? Anyway, so that's why I started studying these other subjects alongside. I won't bother with certain social media. There's a lot of drama going on right now. Discord is a lot of drama, Telegram a lot of drama. Certain individuals are stirring things up, so take no notice. Okay. I think you always got this sirens going, haven't they? Yes, yeah. It's just like, do you know what's the point? What's the point? It's just like, I tell you what, as soon as I can afford it, I'm gonna go back to analog. Get rid of smartphone. Just like, but have a lock. Well, they still break it. When they broke in my own before, they broke in my security box. And it cost me a lot, but they used a spanner to break the lock and try to get my cash. They didn't take the cash, but they just wanted to let me know. Do you know what I mean? Pathetic idiots. So yeah, I don't know. I'm paying for insurance, and I thought I can't even bloody charge the phone up. I mean, it's not worth a lot now because of all these new models out. But when I've got it, I paid £100 or something for it. I'm paying £4 a month for insurance, and I can't bloody use it, and I can't even won't charge up. so I can delete all my data. And they know my data anyway, don't they? So I thought I haven't had the energy. I'm getting distracted by the increase of gas. Oh, bloody hell. Can't make this up. So I worked that one out earlier today. Compared it from year 2020. That's just one account. So I worked it out. I always do my accountants and work it out best I can. And the cost is just... So I'm just looking at my electric heaters. You know, the ones... I'm not very good at being able to change the electric bars. I really... I don't know how many I've got. One, two, three. Maybe I've got actually 1, 2, 3, 4 electric heaters. I've got to add a new one that I haven't really used because it's a bit small to back up. But I usually get one every year. But I'm not mechanical. So I don't have to get inside the actual device. You know, these halogen heaters to change the bulbs. It will save me buying another one for backup, you know. And I can't recycle anything because they're just perps. If you save up to hire somebody to take stuff you don't need or even give it away to recycle, they won't do it. That's how bad it gets, isn't it? Yeah, so busy looking those. Just look at the basic things today because I'm just so exhausted. Yeah, so the hacking, I gave up on that. I thought, oh, stuff you don't need the internet for a few hours. I've had enough. I had the bloody Wi-Fi on all night, recording my sleep, and they're just hacking into my brain. And they're just driving my energy down with the technology. So I thought I'd just switch it on for a couple of hours a short while ago. This broken. They keep what's the point doing home invasions, right? When they want to keep damaging the laptop, they put their own drive in underneath and replace it with my actual physical drive, and they're damaging the hinges, so I can't close at all the laptop at all. And there's no way I'm going to fork out, which I haven't got the money. The times we're living in, I'd rather invest in food and batteries and wind up clocks and radios. And I've already got blankets and things like that ready for winter. So no shit happens tomorrow the way they like to do. I'm going to get out my... I've got a massive, great big thick... Well, I want to just check it over and make sure that the holes... Now is the time where I'm putting more clothes... Well, not clothes, but bedding over my current bedding. Excuse me. And the only thing I'm going to invest in is the cheapest I can find to duvet. Because I have a duvet covering my mattress for warmth, mattress protector, and something else on top. And what's the point, when they keep damaging our stuff? What's the point replacing it? Like they've damaged my bloody what do you call it? Shredder. My paperwork. They've already broken it, and it's only 6 months old. So I was going to buy another one in the same shop I got it for, but the world is now, they can't get the stuff in the stocking, and I'm seeing things deliberately being withheld of the shops, and especially for painkillers, Viper Rub, any cold related stuff. You could buy out of, like, not a chemist but other type of shops. They're literally not restocking the shelves to make it look empty. They have the stock and they're just withholding it from the public. So all these warehouses with the stock to make people panic buy all over again. So, and the price of food's right. I was out the other day. I just feel like the remaining cash I've got, which is not a lot, just blow it at the casino. But I thought, no, I've got to be practical. I've got, you got, as long as you got the basics, right? Things in emergency supply, really, I suppose. And you go through your tin stuff, dried food stuff. The only thing I really wanted was small batteries, but that can wait. And my mate, she's doing my meal today. Trouble is, I've stopped doing the slow cooker meal because every home base, they would poison my food. So she's only just done enough for 2 days, and I'm not going to do anything for 2 days. I'm absolutely shattered. So I've just stocked up on the dry stuff, and best I can, the water and that kind of thing. You got to flush out the radiation. So my natural health stuff I've got, there's only one item I need. So I try to plan ahead. I've always plan ahead for the winter best I can in my health situation. But they're really stitching me up in that regard at the moment as well. But anyway, we're not dealing with flesh and blood. They're demonic. We are the test subjects of the future. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Non-consensually, we're not getting compensation for the torture. But they get their just rewards. Oh, by the way, when the comedy crashes, the perpetrators won't get paid anyway, will they? So let's see how they're going to fork out for their accommodation and their bloody food and necessary things they might need. They'll soon know what it's like, won't they? The karma, I'll call it. Karma, what goes around comes around. Anyway. There's so much uncertainty in the world at the moment. It's to keep our faculties about us. Yeah, they are deliberately withholding stuff. I couldn't get electros, is it? Which are basic ingredients of salt. Ah, yes, health food shop. They obviously don't have shortages of items. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you take care of yourself. You go ahead off, no worries. Thanks for popping by. No, the perks will be screwed also. Support evil and it don't. And it don't support you, exactly. Perps are fools. Blessings to you, empowered. I'm just going to root this and have a look, see if anyone posts anything. Yeah, due to solar flares to hit. Solar storm again tomorrow the 4th. Geomagnetic storm. The strongest type. Wow. Earth facing. The flashes of radiation. I felt that today. Happens when sun twists magnetic fields. The lines suddenly shift. The magnetic field rearrangement releases huge amounts of energy. Polar flares can cause disruption in high frequency radio communication networks. Dark disruption affects airplanes, global navigation, and satellites. Affects global satellite systems. Attention light, the issue faced by the note is that moderate strength of G2 storm was due to arrive on Tuesday before October to as UK time. So keep hydrated, watch out for any power outages. That's a very straightforward video. I appreciate that one. So do you want to watch a bloody Prince Charles? Correction, King Charles now going to Edinburgh to declare a city or something. Right, this is just for education purposes in Scotland. He's part of Scottish Rite, Scotland Bones. Hold on, getting pop-ups. They just want tourism, don't they? So you can see shapeshifters. Freemasons, Knight of Malta. Wearing the Scottish Knight wife. You might want to look into Freemasons within Scotland and history. That was interesting. Watch for the handshakes they do. Masonic handshakes. Why is a scandal with Prince Andrew the paedophilia and the royal family? Might want to be interested to find that out. Look at the size of the bodyguards next to him. I've seen some people break down videos of this, similar to this. Not saying I do it, but they're very good at breaking it down. It's a bit outdated, the monarchy, when the people are starving to feed and to keep warm this winter. But the monarchy would be alright, wouldn't they? He is getting on a bit, isn't he, the king?
Yes, and this is Charles'
What I noticed is the handshaking, all that with the public. But there's meant to be another potential outbreak. Isn't the monarch concerned for his well-being? Shouldn't he be wearing gloves or protective gear? Because in England, NHS England Limited Company and its agents imply they're still doing that in some locations. And there's the king in England, in Scotland, shaking hands with strangers who don't know. How do you know you ain't going to get anything?
My pleasure to give you haircut. Haircut free. Oh. I have barber shop here. Next time. Oh, Romania. I'm waiting. All your barbers.
Poor little girl, did she really know what was going on? That looks like a king's double. Has he got a double already? Who knows?
Anyways, now be seen. Let me go back to your shopping.
Silka.
Didn't that see it? Okay. I'm meeting this for a minute anyway. Well, I'll just end this by the subject because it's getting late now. The reverse monarchy protocols of the elders of Zion, the new revelation, divine birth and monarchy God. This is aliens behind superpowers and super alliances. It's got a few tabs. So look, if it's going to put up, I'm getting tired. There are many different monarchy groups apparently on Earth at this time, including but not limited to reptilians, their main competitors known. And it goes in this page on the website. So this is interesting. At the bottom of this page, reptilians and the weighted throughout political, religious, economic, geometric, technology, arms build-ups, other wars for a long time, such as Crusade, World War One and Two, Middle East tensions, Cold War, Vietnam War, and other events, thousands of years ago and the last century, all just make us as the major two groups posture for the upcoming battle for global domination. Both sides are now posed and gathering their forces for the final presentations. The battle will not be confined to shooting wars, which may not be as important as other forms of confrontations. At this stage of events, things are working up towards final alliances as planned. The countries are being influenced because of these two dominant alien forces within their populations. The governments of many nations will now begin to openly realign in accordance with their alien alliances. The heads of states and important cabinet members of most nations are either programmed to align with one of the major alien groups, or are themselves alien consciousnesses of one of these groups, wearing the clothes of humans. It is not so critical whether the key politicians are programmed humans or aliens. The alliances will occur. In the past, when one of the alien groups gained control of geopolitical religious situation, its power was not as dominant. There will be some rebellion from those under the influence of other groups. Today, these smaller groups of aliens are under such lighter control, and many are being forced to take sides. Even the neutral ones are feeling intense pressure to align with one side or the other. The Greys, who were originally one of the major groups of aliens on Earth, now have aligned themselves with the reptilians. There is an important alien race, the Mars Khazits, from Central Europe, started moving to New Zealand, Australia, some 10 years ago, especially in the last 5 years. I don't know the date of the article this is reading from. And are spread all over Australia and aligned with the reptilians. For many reasons, one of the main control centres of the fight for world domination will be operated from Australia. Soon the highest concentration of alien consciousness of the world will be in New Zealand and Australia. Since the recent alien alliances began, various countries have aligned themselves with the USA, which is currently a reptilian-dominated state and was formerly a reptilian-dominated nation. As I stated in the above report, the reptilian consciousness and high positions have already immigrated to China. At this time, many nations are changing political alliances, and these changes could surprise many political observers who lack the understanding that the new alliances and being formed are based upon alien consciousness and are dominant in the various countries. Dominant. On the political scene, there will be many changes, or personally in banking and other political fields due to alien alignments. Several Arab states will align with the Berteria-headed USA. Others will align with the reptilians. This is going to cause several conflicts in Israel, which continues to be influenced by reptilians. A sheer shift from which within Israel between its main allies. The USA and the new Arab USA Kiriru alliance will be very strong despite the allies' religious differences, Muslims and Christians. Here is what I mentioned in Disclosure 12 regarding invasion of Iraq by US forces of Revelation 31st, 2003 of March. Other countries going to join. Syria with the first. The birthplace country Jesus will tremble. Internal rebellion occur in a number of ways. It goes into the list. I can't read it all because it's quite detailed. So, proponents for the Da Vinci Code are trying to fracture the church, which is currently a reptilian strong. I don't even know this is true. But for now, I'm getting the stream that night. So signing out, just observing.